Then we'll actually remove the LCD from the digitizer just to show you how that's done. Pretty straightforward. There's actually a couple things you have to do before you do so, though. You do need to remove this strip of tape, which I always save. I do not trash this piece of tape. There we go. Okay. Then I take my blade and I actually cut around the spots that there's tape that kind of holds down little spots of this metal bracket that holds the LCD in place. You can remove the tape. I just cut around it. That way I don't have to deal with having to mess with it at all. It is not that important. Actually, I think that's the only two spots is up there. So you got these two spots. I just cut around the tape. Next, you do have to remove this little sensor piece right here. You can apply heat if you want to. If you do apply heat, be very careful because this is the back of the LCD that you were applying heat to, and you will actually damage it if you put too much heat. This right here is a flat blade, a little bit thinner, and it's easier to get underneath there and cut that adhesive. Again, if you're doing something like this, you need to be very careful that you're not actually cutting the flex. So I'm just going to bend that up like so. You can actually pull this out. We'll go ahead and show you how this is removed. This thing is adhered in there pretty good. What I do is I get this tool and then I actually grab the little tab there. You don't want to be pulling too hard on this tab, but you can kind of use it to wiggle it around and get into it and get it out of there a little easier. This is just a little sensor. So you do want to remove that. Make sure that you don't damage it in any way. After that, we'll go ahead and undo the screws that hold in the LCD. You have, I believe, 4 or 6 of them. You have 6. So, the 2 on this rail. You have none at the top where the tape was, and then 2 on each side. Next, after you remove the 6 screws, this sucker isn't necessarily adhered in there, but it's in there pretty tight. They put this foam border around these edges, so you do need to still kind of get a tool and pry up a little bit on it. You don't have to get crazy with it, just enough to kind of get it going here. We'll actually do it from this end. I feel more comfortable on this side where we're not next to a bunch of stuff. It's crazy how hard this thing's actually in there. But don't be afraid. These things are pretty resilient, these LCDs. You don't need any heat. Well, I take that back. There is like some foam adhesive in there. It's been a long time since I had to pull an LCD out of these suckers. Woo! All right. Basically, there's just this foam stuff that you gotta break. And you do need to be careful. That was kind of reckless, but basically, it wasn't pulling. This LCD sits in a metal bracket, as you can see. This is the bracket here. So what it was actually pulling on was the metal bracket itself, and it's not pulling on the LCD. But if you do that kind of stuff and it's adhered to the LCD directly, you will cause damage to the LCD, guaranteed. it'll actually cause, mostly it causes discoloration in the LCD, but it can actually cause an ink blot as well. So definitely be careful. In this particular model, I'm aware that it has this frame. I know that it's just to that frame and that's it. So I just did it like that. That's it though. That's the full disassembly. There's nothing left. Now we'll throw this sucker back together. And make sure your unit's clean there, the LCD.